triggering change one heartbeat at a time. Battle for Freedom. Sorry for the technical difficulties, just getting a late start and my brain being all over the place. Thank you, everyone, for being part of Battle for Freedom and Mojo 5 Radio. If you want to not have too many craziness driving up the wall, go to mojo50.com and look at all the other shows that are available to you on this amazing network, and they're not dealing with different crazy attitudes going on early in the morning. Today, I want to talk to you about the idea of Uno and Spades playing the Antivote. I had a chance yesterday. I had a very good discussion with a friend of the program, a friend of the network, Alan Chesser. He is running for office to the House in North Carolina, and really praying. This is the gentleman who has really blessed me, told me about Henry Hazlitt's, economics in one lesson, and I feel like every time we have a discussion, I'm getting a new lesson in just not economics, politics, and so much more. So we'll be talking about that today. But before we get into that subject, American Pride Roasters Coffee, I'm hoping that this is your flavor. This is your bent for coffee. American Pride Roasters Coffee is historically great coffee and the official coffee of Mojo 5 Radio. I highly encourage you to look into getting it and enjoying. Why? Because of the fact that this stuff is good. It's addictive. So if you want to have an addiction to coffee, why not make American Pride Roasters Coffee your addiction? Now, again, I saw a really cool meme yesterday that was shared by them saying all the cool people drink American Pride Roasters Coffee, and you're not cool if you don't drink it. Apart from that, if you want to be triggered, you want to suffer anxiety and so much more, why don't you look into New Life Holistic? This is biofeedback therapy. Forget the pills. Look at getting your mind and body, soul, and spirit retuned so that you can function in society, no matter what life throws at you. Ideally, you can even function better if you've got Christ in you. And that's the cool thing about it. Anthony Malchiotti, he's a believer. He's a solid believer with a great foundation in Christ, a great spiritual background. And I think it ebbs itself, not just in his faith, but also in his ability and his practice to help heal you and have a better, more successful life. Look into New Life Holistic with Anthony Malchiotti and let him know that Watson from Battle for Freedom sent you. If you want to interact, you can go to facebook.com/Battle for Freedom, like I see Heidi has done. Really appreciate her. Thank you for joining and being part of the program. You can leave a comment there. Also, before I forget again, Mojo 50 Radio, go to mojo50.com. Basically, click the schedule button, click the join button, click the shop button, click the donate button. Just click every button that you can find. Even click Brad's buttons. I know he likes to be riled up, so if you can, go do that and let them know that Watson from Battle for Freedom sent you. So again, yesterday, as I was having this discussion with Alan Chesser yesterday, and we're talking politics, and again, he's running for office. Really would love for him to win. Great mind, great perspective. I mean, if we want to win America, we have to be tactical. We have to be tactical, and we have to be wise in the way that we do this stuff. And unfortunately, I think one of the biggest problems that we have is that we don't want to be tactical. We don't want to be patient. We don't want to be wise. We just want to be bombastic in our behavior and not care about the consequences. Thank you, Linda, for joining and being part of the program. And it annoys me because of the fact that, so he came up with this term yesterday that he said to me, and I honestly, it's something I've been trying to say for so long, and I think it maybe has been said in the past, and hey, thanks for joining, Kerry. But he used a term yesterday that really struck with me, and it stuck with me, and I hope this sticks with you too. Again, this all goes, credit to Alan Chesser. Basically, if you want to find him, ALLENCHESSER, look up the name on Facebook, and then if you want to follow him politically, Alan Chesser for NC House. Check that out. You can't go wrong. Trust me. Again, I get smarter every time I have a conversation with him. And what was really interesting and powerful about this discussion is he says this word, antivote. The antivote. So as we're now neck deep in midterm elections. Sarah Palin may be being a U.S. House senator, not a U.S. but a Alaska state senator. Who is it? Liz Cheney's out of the thing. Well, I mean, there have been pluses and minuses. Here locally, there's a guy that's John Jacob, who's down in the Southern District. Near like the Greenwood Southport area. Unfortunately, he lost his primary and he won't be running again. Kind of wish that he would have been able to be in there. Great advocate for life and so much more. But it's been a wide variety, a wide array. And what I hate about what the media is painting things out is, well, if you defy Trump and you got kicked out, so be it. That's a message to you. Don't defy Trump. And I think that this is a problem because of the fact that that should not be the message. We put people in office because of their character. We put people in office, and yes, there are questionable things about Liz Cheney's character over the last few years that you could say, is this really for America or is this scoring points against Donald Trump? Yes, it's clear. We can ask those questions. It is clear that she's been an obstructionist, just like McCain and so much more, and Romney and so much more. But one of the things that we run into is in this anti-vote area and this mentality and playing the anti-vote is everything is not based on the character and what the person brings to the table, but I don't like them and I want anything that's not them. Case in point, Biden didn't win. People didn't vote for Biden. People voted against Trump. People didn't vote for Donald. People voted against Hillary. People didn't vote for Barack Obama. Well, there are some people I'll say that they voted for him because they wanted to see the first black president. Wrong reason to vote. Wrong reason. But many of them voted against, even if it wasn't the first black president. I believe more so than it just being the first black president. They voted against McCain because the media sold the message that McCain is another form of a Bush. So most of us, when we're doing our elections, we're voting against something, not voting for something. Everyone knows what we stand against, but not everyone knows what we stand for. Hey, Paula, thank you for joining and being part of the program. And we need to change this. We need to change this mentality because we're in this tit for tat thing. You did this to me, so I'm going to do it to you. And I'm not going to show all the images on this. I'm just going to share the stuff because I want to try and see how much of this, as I share and go through these stories, how much of this works itself into your mind that you understand what's taking place. Because in the midst of this, so this is the cover letter. It was initially an all white color, but it didn't work for me in reference to seeing the countdown on the thing, but Uno and Spades. And in this, you have a love and hate relationship. You have a voting sticker going right down the middle, but you have on the left a red and on the right we have a blue. You have reverse cards, Uno cards. And this idea of when you play that card where someone was pushing in your direction, you push it back the other way. Uno and Spades. I mean, one of my favorite. I haven't played Spades in a long time. Oh my goodness, it has to be near. Oh my goodness, probably more than 30 years since I've played Spades. Uno, probably 7 years ago, or maybe less than that. My kids love playing Uno. But the reason why, for those who are watching on, who are listening via the radio, the reason why the image is tinted green is because it's the color of envy. Green with envy. That when it comes to us sitting in the polls and making our votes and making our decisions for who's going to be in office, it's not because of the fact that they're the best candidate. No, it's just like, I want my person in, and I don't care whether or not they have major character flaws or not. In our tit for tat spat mentality, where children making critical decisions for the direction of a country and of a nation. And honestly, in this idea of this anti-vote mentality that we just have to vote against something, we never stand up for what it is. Oh, well, I want lower gas prices. That's not really a good start. Thanks for joining, Lep. He's part of the one half of the amazing crew of Ain't You a Peach. You can catch him on the weekend. Also, he does Saturday afternoons at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch Rock'em Sock'em Radio with American Rock Radio. Check him out. But thank you for being part of the program, Lep. As you sit here, and again, I shade this green because of green with envy, because of the fact that we are envious of the person who's in position, rather than basically saying, I'm going to be a person of substance and bring something to the table. I don't have to attack the person. I don't have to attack the person. If anything, I'm going to highlight on the person. I'm going to highlight their inconsistencies in their position of office and position of representation. That, in terms of, you know what? Hey, I want to point out this inconsistency. I'm fine with that. I mean, we all have the freedom of speech to say and do whatever we want. But again, when all we say is he's just not that person, that's not a legitimate reason. And let's get back to even this idea. Thanks for joining, Carolyn. Even the idea of, I just want lower gas prices. That doesn't solve the problem. See, because we can get lower gas prices. We can get, more social programs. We can get all these other different things. Let's say we get everything that we want. Even with the great blessings that came through, even with the great blessings of what came through with the Republicans in 2017, making those IRS changes or those tax changes, the problem that we run into is they couldn't stop spending money. We complained about Barack Obama spending $10 trillion in 8 years. Republicans and Donald Trump spent 7 in 4. Hey, Curtis, thanks for joining. So how do we get or offer better if we're doing the same thing just with our flavor? And that's where, when I talk about Uno and Spades, is because of the fact that here it is, we're playing this reverse game, flip 4, draw 4, and all these other different things. We're playing games as we go to the polls. And I use the term spades, even though it's a card game, I'm basically saying that we're just as guilty as the other side. But for some strange reason, we think that if we keep playing this game in politics and we just keep doing the tit for tat and attacking people, we're somehow, somewhere, we're going to come out with a better chance. Our flavor of game is a lot better than yours. Our group of player, our team should be the representatives right now. Even though we're identically the same, we just have letters behind our name that designate us as different. We're basically the same. And so we're playing card games when we should have leaders in office, not card players, not people who could give you a great poker face. Yes, I will do this for you. I promise. If you elect me, I'll do this for you. Yes, if you elect me, we will repeal and replace Obamacare. You were elected and you failed. You did nothing. You did nada. But for some strange reason, we're supposed to sit here and trust you that you are going to do right by us? Whatever. We don't have, ain't nobody got no time for that. Yes, Scott, they promise everything and do nothing. Bingo. But see, here's the worst part about it, though, is we keep playing their dumb game. We can't do third party. We're just going to have to put the team in that wins. I mean, the two-party system is killing us, but we're going to do everything we can to keep the two-party system going. Methinks that's the definition of insanity. Insanity! So we're playing the Antivote. We just don't want that other side. Let's deal with some of the let's deal with some of the fallout of the partisanship and anti-vote mentality that is killing us. So where is this one here? I forgot to put that out there. Yep. I guess I might as well put this so people know I'm broadcasting. And those of you who shared it out, thank you very much. I appreciate you. You're much too kind. You're much too kind. Here it is. Jill Biden. So Jill Biden is basically recovering from symptoms of COVID and everything like that. For some strange reason, some odd strange reason, she's isolating, even though, last week they came out, or the week prior, they came out with the message that, hey, if you've got COVID, there's no reason for you to isolate. You can just, there's no reason for you to isolate. You can just basically wear a mask. But she's isolating. It doesn't make sense to me. But either way, with Jill Biden, our first lady, being sick, the anti-vote is going to celebrate her illness. The anti-vote is going to celebrate when something negative happens to her. The anti-vote, because of the fact that we have to win at all costs, and we're just flipping Uno cards. You did me wrong, I do you wrong. You wish me wrong, I wish you wrong. Well, as Christians, we completely forget about how God's word says, repay no one evil for evil. But because we have to win, our Christian character has to be put by the side because of the fact that we have to win right now. I reflect back to 2015, 2016, as we were getting prepared for the elections back then. And I remember a vet said to me, we have to win at all costs. So we have to vote for Donald Trump. And I said to him, but for 240 plus years, soldiers like you have fought for my right to vote my conscience. So this lie that there's a binary option, is one choice or the other, it's a lie. No matter how much, the only reason why the binary option maintains, and we still have a two-party system, is because of the fact that we refuse to accept the reality that we could see an America that doesn't get ruled by R or Ds. And I'm sitting here thinking, So I'm glad that my players are in here, and let's have some fun here. I love my players. I love my. I'm gonna get one. I'm gonna get one here. Let's see. Did it come through? Did it come through? Yes, it did. Scott says, Major Stockholm. We feel for our oppressors. We even vote for them. Most definitely. Most definitely. I saw a comedian the other day. It was pretty funny. He was like, black kids and white kids are completely different. Black kids and white kids are hilarious, especially as we deal with our parents and everything like that. Like black parents versus white parents. Black parents, they're like, kids are scared, and white kids come over to a black person's house, and the mother comes in and is like, "What I tell you, blah blah blah," and the white kid looks at the black kid saying, "She can't do that. You have your own personal rights and everything like that, right?" And the black kid is sitting there basically taking their hat off. The comedian says, like in a slave mentality, well, massa is gonna whoop me if I don't do what she tells her to do. And he said that the black mother smacked the white kid so hard he became black. Okay, so I had to share that vidlike with what Scott said about the ideas that we even vote for them. We vote for our oppressors. And I think that, it's almost like a black child versus white child relationship when it even comes to politics. So I'm sorry. It was just a funny thing, and it just it just stuck with me. Brandon, Brandon, he says the third party hasn't been much better. Hate it or love it, Trump did a lot of what he promised. Yes and no. because even this, I don't want this to be a, I don't want this to be a tit for tat thing, but again, Trump couldn't make anything happen if let's clear this thing up, because I think this is where we make the mistake, all of us, Republicans and Democrats and independents. We make this huge mistake right now because I think we're blinded by our anti-vote mentality. Is that because I think that language is wrong. The language that Trump did a lot is completely incorrect. Let's shut this down right again. Again, I'm not personally attacking you. I'm attacking all of us here. And the reason why I say this is because this is the biggest illusion ever that Trump did a lot. No, he didn't. He did nothing without the support of congressmen, women and senators who came alongside, made the legislation available for him to sign. See, we could sit here and talk about executive orders, and executive orders are the worst possible way for any kind of legislation. So this idea that Trump accomplished something, no, he didn't. He participated and he basically signed on to legislation that was made possible, because without Trump, without the Congress, without the senators, there's no possible way. Yes, Trump can turn around and make suggestions for people to be in the Supreme Court. Yes, he had 3 choices, but without senators voting in, without the 50 senators voting in to make certain or having the majority for his picks to be in there, it doesn't matter who Trump picks up. This is a team effort. And this is the reason why I'm really struggling with this whole idea of our Trumpism mentality, is that we're seeing him as this one figurehead that can lead our country to safety, security, and success and everything like that. And that's the biggest lie and illusion. Just as many people feel like, as people are delusional out there to say that Joe Biden has secured the best economic growth, and he signed a bill yesterday or the day before, and everybody's like, look at all the growth in July from this new program I'm like, the program doesn't come into play for another several months. How can you take credit for something that hasn't even been made legal yet? And that's the blindedness that we go through in our anti-vote mentality, that our team is better than that team, is that we literally jump outside of common sense and attribute success that really doesn't exist without a team playing mentality. And I think that, again, and while yes, there were many things that I liked that Trump moved or participated in our success of, there could have been more success if we all took the habit of stop taking credit for stuff, because the credit isn't for the party, the credit is for the American people. And honestly, to tell you the truth, the credit is for God. My morning verse this morning was Romans chapter 11 verse 30. To him be all the honor and the glory. To him, in him, and to him, and by him, and for him, be all the honor and the glory and the praise. Christ Jesus, God, all the honor, all the glory. And again, what we do is we sit here and we look at our political parties and we say, well, we did this and we did this. And it's like, no. God enabled us to be in a position to do things. And I think that this is where we move away from our language, our vernacular. That has been nothing but what's the word for it? Destructive in nature. Why? Because I'm not gonna lie to you, both sides of the aisle, and even independents as well, even the third party as well, every last person wants to take credit for success rather than realizing that's because it's like Tom Brady saying, you know what, I did the best job in bringing the Patriots, and like I was out there, I snapped the ball to me. I snapped the ball to myself in shotgun formation, and then I ran a pattern, and I caught the ball that I threw to myself, but past all those other 11 defenders. There was nothing that they could do to stop my football prowess. And that's exactly the way we sound when we sit here and we try to make it seem like Joe Biden or Obama or Trump or whoever else is making these huge strides of success. We have to change our language, because as long as we feed the current stage of discussion, all we do is feed egos instead of feeding.
In John 14:6, Jesus said to him, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. Now, a lot of Christians are going to, or quote-unquote Christians, are going to tell you that there are many ways to heaven. Sorry. The only means of getting to heaven is through God's grace, or by God's grace. There's nothing we can do. There are no good works that we can accomplish. There are no great deeds that we can do, because the moment that we say that we can do something good to get ourselves into heaven, or just be good people, into getting into God's heaven, where Jesus is the requirement, God's grace is the requirement, you're destined for hell. I'm sorry, there's just no other way to say it. Please, stop following the lies from the people in the world who have nothing to gain except your eternal damnation and misery. Hear the truth. The only means to heaven is through Jesus Christ. No other way. Accept him, please, before it's too late. Thank you. Are you tired of living from paycheck to paycheck? Are there more days at the end of the week and the end of the month than there's money in your bank account? Have you heard of a budget? Have you ever even heard of Dave Ramsey? Well, before we get into there, why don't we consider the 3 steps for financial freedom and remove you from the frustrations that are driving up the wall right now? Start with prayer. That's the first step. Have a conversation with God, and he can get you on the right track to make sure that you're doing things the right way. The second step would be looking into Total Money Makeover by Dave Ramsey. Great stories of people who were in the same position as you were and how I used to be in the past. And they can show you that it does work. His plan does work, but you have to change your mindset and how you look at money. And then the third step is looking into Financial Peace University. This is what you take after reading Total Money Makeover. Trust me, this plan works. And I assure you, you will be living a lot better than you ever could before when you get a budget. Look into it now. Triggering change, one heartbeat at a time. Battle for freedom.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm your host, Watson Prunier from Battle for Freedom on Mojo 5 Radio, and I appreciate every last one of you as we're talking about Uno and Spades playing the Antivote. Really good discussions going on here, and I started talking about Brady and the Patriots, and one of the people I knew was going to be like, "Hey, slow down, slow your roll, bro." This is the reason why it's really good. It's good to actually get the chance to know some of the people that either follow you or you're friends with, and they come in and they start commenting in the middle of your broadcast. It's a lot of fun because you can poke at people as they poke at you. Ha 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 ha. Yes, petty. Yes, I am a petty person. I'm a petty person. As I sit here trying to tell you that we need to move beyond our tit for tat mentality, I'm struggling on air live right now with it too. Thank you, Carolyn. I appreciate you. But we sit here, and where did Curtis said this earlier before the break. He says the golden rule: he who has the gold makes the rules. Yes. So the problem that we run into is here's the issue on that statement's so true. The only problem though is people mess around with fool's gold. We're messing around with fool's gold, and here's the reason why. Is because of the fact that even though, we have our powers, and God establishes powers, governments, institutions, and everything around there. Look at Romans chapter 13 and many other different passages that God puts people in power. God allows people to put in power. So did God become omnipotent impotent? Not omnipotent. He already is omnipotent. He can't become what he already is. But did he become impotent when the other political party became in power? I know people argue with the idea that Trump did a lot for religious freedom. Again, let's go back to, was it an executive order? Or was it legislation that was brought forth by Congress and senators, approved, and then he signs on this? Because again, apart from the help of other people doing this team effort thing, and I believe that we can figure out a way to get beyond ourselves. Now, there are going to be certain things that we just cannot agree upon with people on the other side. There are just going to be some ideological things that are going, and honestly, there's going to be some things that are of cognitive cognitive concern. Like, how did you come to that? I mean, you calling me a conspiracy theory and you extrapolated that lie? Again, the idea that people can, for Biden, who couldn't control the gas prices, to take credit for the gas prices, and especially on a law that was just signed 2 days ago for results that happened back in June and July, you're completely delusional. And if you're following a media that's telling you or promoting success from an administration that has literally failed, gas prices are still too high. Inflation is still too high. People are struggling to make ends meet. And you know what? And while I can understand people going to the polls to vote out Democrats because they're tired of the high prices, I'm letting you know that if Republicans who Trump did sign in stimulus checks, if they continue to do this, what we do is we replace Republicans and Democrats who continue to believe that we're going to put on our posterity the responsibility of covering the bill, the enormous bill that we've created. That our children and their children and their children will be responsible for our poor economic policies of writing checks, cutting checks, and everything like that. Hey, Jamie. Hey, Jamie, thanks for joining. The other half of Ain't You a Peach. Now we have a full Monty. We have full representation, and I've got my two buddies who are on here. Scott, Watson, Petty won't back down. No, I won't back down. It's my show. It's my show, and I can do what I want to. I do what I want to. I do what I want to. You would be petty too if it happened to you. Oh my goodness. Let's see, Brandon. Let's see. Wait, why didn't it come through? I guess I'm just gonna have to read it from. My system is moving slow and picking up the comments, but that's fine. Brenda says the executive order that Trump signed in, and then day one of Biden overturned and hurt the country and economy and the mentality of most people due to the pandemic. Well, see, and here's the problem that I run into is, we should literally be taking away executive order privilege. We should literally scrape away executive order privilege when those, especially if those executive order situations cannot be backed up with literal law. If we can't see, and this is what leaders do. Leaders, not politicians, leaders. See, everybody banked on the art of the deal. He's gonna negotiate. He's playing 5D chess. Yes, he was playing 5D chess. I can't get a graphic right now. He screwed us over. We got screwed over because pride got in the way. And yes, his pride was met with pride from the other side as well too. And we've got to get the kids out of office who are screwing us over because they don't know how to play in the sandbox. There is no sandbox. They blew up the sandbox. You couldn't get enough vacuum cleaners to find all the different pieces of sand that were lost because of this. Okay, Scott. Yes, Scott. No, don't take it away. Don't abuse the power. Executive order options are there for a reason. I agree. But there has to be a checks and balances system because of the fact that it makes no sense to put an executive order in. Well, my side put it in, and then the other side took it out, and then all you get is pettiness. And it's unfortunate. I didn't even cover half the stuff I want to. Yeah, because here it is. Let's go into some of these other different things. I'm loving the conversation with you guys. You all rock. And I don't hate you, Brandon. I love you, bro. Even if you are a Patriots fan. Yes, you are a sinner. Here you go. Because this is what happens. This is the issue that really should concern us. Misery for millions. Fed will keep raising interest rates after seeing little evidence that inflation is easing and predict it will remain high for some time. This is what we should be fighting. Why are the interest rates so high? Well, because we can't stop spending, because of the fact that we can't stop living. Not only our government, our people. We, the people, don't know how to live in a budget. We, the people, don't know how to follow common sense. So why should our representatives not reflect our abuses or inability to show self-control? Scott says, Patriot fans need love too. I guess it's a biblical thing and I'll do it. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Term limits need to be revamped. I agree. Brandon, but the executive order showed that Trump had our backs when Congress wouldn't pass it. Sorry for the banter. Love you too. Yes. You so lucky I don't know where you live. Did I say that with my outside voice? Oh, trouble. That way it makes its way to the Negro on the radio. Trump. Now, see, again, here's where, okay, in the areas where it does it assists us or gives us temporary pause. Again, I just really believe that we need to make certain that the powers that need to be invested in those right areas of office need to be there and not abused, okay? But here's one other area where it just really frustrates me because of this kind of tit-for-tat language. What I'm about to read to you should be the one reason you never vote for Trump. Because I'm not going to lie to you, he made this promise before and he did not follow through. Trump hints he'll raid Clinton and Obama if he retakes the White House. Shares post calling the FBI fascist and an op-ed saying the Mar-a-Lago raid will get him reelected after victorious night in Wyoming. I don't agree with the Mar-a-Lago raid. I already expressed it. I was frustrated. I was disgusted with it. And I don't care who you are. I don't care what political party you subscribe to. That raid was wrong. The media was having orgasms that this took place. This violation of rule and law. But to become petty and say, well, I'm going to repay evil for evil. And this is the reason why, folks, you're fixated on policy, and I'm telling you that moral character affects policy. If we don't have a checks and balance system that being in office cannot be used as a means of retribution, we have policies in corporate America that companies cannot retaliate against you or people can't retaliate against you if you report wrongdoings. But now, if you're in office, Republicans, we're going to start a panel and committee to investigate Hunter Biden and investigate the January 6th committee, and we're going to investigate all these different things. Where are you getting the money from? Why are you wasting our time? Why are you wasting our money? As it is right now, people don't like the stupid things going on with the January 6th thing, televised time, people who can't find anything else better to do than try to impeach Trump. So what are we going to do? We're going to do the same exact thing. Because we're going to impeach Trump Biden. We're going to impeach Hunter. We're going to impeach Fauci. Wasting American dollars that we don't have because we have to do the tit-for-tat, childish stuff that should automatically disqualify you. Right now, that statement right there that he wants to go and attack people because they attacked him, the retaliatory, if anything that should disqualify him, is that open statement right there. I'm going to attack back. Any Republican, any Democrat who basically says we're going to put legislation in to investigate things that are clearly politically motivated should be automatically disqualified. Vote them out. Do not fire them. You're fired.
But because of the fact that we get this tit for tat mentality, they hurt us, we got to hurt them. Can I ask a question? When do we stop? When does it stop? When can we find people who will be the first ones forward to move away from the pettiness? So we have a question, and I'll do this because it gets me to calm down. Let's read this question from Mr. Scott. But if a crime happens, shouldn't it be investigated? Not for personal reasons, but because it's right. Well, of course. But of course. Mr. Grey Poopah? No, I'm just joking. Yes. Because it's right. But the problem is if we look at the language of what's going on, I mean, literally, Trump hints he will raid Clinton and Obama. Guess what? I call BS. I call Bravo Sierra. I call baking soda. Because of the fact that here it is. He said the same exact thing when he was running for office in 2016. Lock her up. Lock her up. Anything happen? No. Because in his arrogance and hubris, he assumed that he could accomplish something without the assistance of Congress and the senators to make certain that she did get locked up. You know, I'm just sitting here thinking, and Brenda brings up a point. We still have 2 years. So you really think something's going to happen? Everybody's like, oh, he's gonna run for Congress, and he's gonna take over Congress, and he's gonna, Republicans gonna take Congress, and Trump's gonna turn around and start the impeachment process against Nancy Pelosi, Obama, and everybody else. What? Yeah, I'm sitting here. I'm like, when will we stop the tit for tat? And this is on the American dime, the taxpayer's dime. Your kids, we're paying for it. Your kids will be paying for it, and their kids are going to be paying for this. Because no one wants to be mature enough to say, let's stop playing Unos and Spades. And let's stop treating this game of politics as some kind of game, or this thing of politics as a game, and treat it as something so key to the foundational structures of an organized and respectable society. Yeah. And she comes in with $1 million answer. And Jamie says, I think he's part of the team. Good cop, bad cop. Bingo, give this woman a prize. What did she win, Johnny? A lifetime of common sense, although a lot of people may not want to listen to her. Well, let's move on to the next one because I'm just getting a little bit too hot. I got this nice new sweater that my wife, she got me yesterday, and it is so cool. It is so cool. Well, technically not. It's so cool, but I'm really hot in it right now. I've got all these lights on me like the Gestapo's interrogating me. And I've got all these eyes in the comment section ready to take me out. Here's another one. This is sad. Black flight attendant sues Delta Airlines for racially motivated firing her after she was let go for sharing a cartoon meme of Donald Trump in a KKK mask. So now this is the part about it, the whole idea of, now I don't believe, it's unfortunate that it happened. Do I agree with her being fired for this? No. It's her First Amendment. It's her First Amendment right to do this. But you remember when I constantly say to you what the Bible says, all things are permissible, not all things are beneficial. See, we're free to do whatever we want, but we're not free from the consequences. Now, and it's on the dotted line because she posted this on her social media site, and Delta, which doesn't have a union,
basically says you can't do these things on your social media platform. And so while I don't agree with the ruling, I think it's wrong. She should have the freedom to say whatever, she should have the freedom. If she wants to insult, call Trump a Klansman, so be it. It's unfortunate. I don't believe he's racist. I just know that he's an opportunist. He's an opportunist. And that if anything, blame him on that. But this whole idea, KKK stuff, whatever. Here's a problem with that, because this is part of the whole tit for tat mentality. That's cheap. That's cheap. That isn't even a statement of quality. That isn't even a statement that has any substance to it, because it's not. It's just it's a brothel house excuse. It's cheap. It's used. It's abused. There's nothing honest about it. And I think that's the problem, is that we need to separate ourselves. There's a good discussion happening here as we're going through this broadcast. There's a good discussion. We're trying to communicate our ideas, and we share. And I'm like, okay, yeah, let's consider that. But when I have to go low underneath the belt and make comments about the Patriots, really, how does that help the conversation? It doesn't. And we have to get away from that habit. Lord help us. Because here's another one. Here's another article. I saw this online. Because it's part of the tit for tat. I wanted you to see how exhausting this is. Like, let's go, someone saying 1990s. I think that what I'm about to say is like 1980s. 1980s, maybe 1990s. Like, gag me with a spoon. Joe Biden has now been in Delaware for 150 days. President has spent more time at his home away from the White House than Trump and Obama and Bush. So, I mean, why even talk about this? Well, what really is accomplished here? Tit for tat. Obama spent so much time, Trump spent so much time golfing, Obama spent so much time doing this, and this person spent... This tit for tat stuff is exhausting. Because it's not leading to honest discussion. All it is doing is pointing fingers rather than providing solutions. Solutions, because people are feeling pain. The next thing I want to share with you, this one really gets me. Because I've been watching. So remember, back in March, the Dow was about 36,000, right? And then 6 weeks later, it drops under 30,000, right? And it's back up to like 35. But nothing's really happened. Nothing's really happened to justify the ebb and flow of quote-unquote success during high inflation, high unemployment, high prices across the board. Nothing can justify the rise again, which shows that it's paper. It's all superficial. Whether it's Trump, whether it was Biden, whether it was Obama, whether it was Bush. This is not built on strong supporting numbers. This is all based on speculations. Someone lift their right cheek and pass gas, stock goes up 1,000 points. It's dumb. Retail bloodbath. Target profits fall a staggering 90% in a year after America's most popular department store slashed prices on backlog of unwanted clothes and home goods. You hear that? Their profits slashed 90%. That's huge. But according to stocks, all the industries, everything, financial, everything's going really well. A lot of hand waving to distract us from the reality of what's taking place. This is not success. We need more transparency. We need a system that governs and determines what true success looks like, not on speculation, but actual substantive facts. But when we do the tit for tat thing, we never have the time to stop, pause, and ask the right questions. We never do. And it's sad. Here's another crisis that's affecting us. America's $30 billion legalized cannabis industry is causing an explosion of teen users. Candy-themed products sold with minimal oversight increase risk of addiction and psychosis among kids. You know, see, because we need to have this discussion. Why are our kids feeling the need to be smoking the weed? I had to go there, sorry. Why are our kids having the need to smoke the weed? We're doing something wrong as a community, as a society, where our kids have to be drugged up. And this isn't over-the-counter stuff. There's a method to this. Get our kids doped up now. Get them addicted now, and it makes it easier for them. The gateway drug. The gateway drug. Oh, it's harmless. The gateway drug. Build the addictions now. The gateway drug. We keep saying that, but you dismiss us. Oh, it's nothing to worry about. It's just harmless. It's just hashish, cannabis. It's okay. Let's move on to another one. Here's another one here. Yep, I'm sorry. I usually have like nice, pretty pictures for you. Yeah. It says they're coping with our stupidity now. He's right. CDC investigates 29 case of E. coli outbreak across Michigan and Ohio that has caused 9 hospitalizations. Officials have not yet identified what food is the source. Something's going on right now, and I'm not going to lie to you. I have a lot of friends who are sick, many who are jabbed, many who are unjabbed. There is something going on right now, and they're trying to probably say it's monkeypox or it's COVID that's making another comeback. I think it's something completely different. There are a lot of people who are ill, and we need to be praying right now because of the fact that something is going around and we don't know what it is yet. I have many coworkers who are under the weather. Pray, we need to see the tit for tat stuff has got to go. Because we need to really be praying for people who are struggling right now physically because their health is being challenged. It's being hit hard. Please pray for love thy neighbor. Tit for tat gets in the way from us following one of the most critical commands that God has told us to do. Because we've got to win at all costs. I hope they die. Like Samuel Jackson from, was that A Time to Kill? That's what the tit for tat makes us look like. A crazy black man and a wife beater who needs a shave. And Matthew McConaughey saying, dang, Negro, don't say that. You're killing me. I can't represent you when you can't take a chill pill. And God saying the same exact thing. Damn, Negroes, take a chill pill. Yes. And bingo, I can't say that online right now because they'll censor me. Well, maybe not Facebook, but YouTube. BoobTube. Now, here's one that's probably going to get a lot of people angry. This is in the news right now. Mike Pence now says he would consider testifying to the January 6th committee if asked, and tells Republicans to stop attacking the FBI for the raid on Mar-a-Lago. Now, right now, everybody's like, see, I knew he was a traitor. He's the part of the cabal, and he hates Trump. He never was for America. Even though he didn't do what you wanted him to do on January 6th. And now that he's speaking out against the emperor. He's speaking out against Emperor Palpatine. And now, Mike Pence is Darth Maul. Pence Maul. See, your affections are in a person and not in an ideal. your affections are in a person and not an ideal, because the ideal of liberty goes beyond one individual. It goes beyond one individual. We see the bigger picture of the ideal of liberty. But if you're sitting here looking for, loyalty, there's only one person that we're loyal to, and that's God. Trump's not God. Biden's not God. I'm not God. You're not God. We're not God. And the moment that we humble ourselves and stop focusing on the anti-vote and start focusing on being Christ-like, we probably may see a better day in America. We probably may see a better day in America. For now, Brad Staggs and Daily Mojo is up next. Go Patriots! Psych! I'm out. Hasta la vista. There's no sound. There's no sound. What happened to my sound? I can't hear anything. Uh-oh. Hasta la vista, baby.